Groundhog.
Prairie dog.
Prairie dog. Prairie dog.
Okay, so we'll learn some fun facts about prairie dogs. And basically we're going to learn more about their communication. So prairie dogs are the top 5 animals that best communicate with each other. Their calls differentiate based on the color of shirts you wear, how close you are, or if your movements are showing threats or non-threatening types of behaviors. And they are known as the most advanced form of they have one of the most advanced forms of natural language known to science. So, much like prairie dogs have to communicate, for their safety, teachers, it is important for teachers to communicate with their parents and with their students and with their coworkers. If they don't establish this communication between parents and students, they can feel disconnected and disengaged. Communication is also crucial for self-evaluation and reflection on lessons. And without having that self-evaluation and reflection, you're not able to grow as a teacher and become better. So this is one thing I set up for my future classroom is a classroom website. And this just has some information about me, some contact information where they can come on and see my cell phone number or my email address, the class calendar. This is where we'd have activities put up on here where they can see, do we have a field trip this month, the plan ahead. They can also see if we have units going on for the month. I can post lessons, things like that. Class photos, if we have some big project that we're doing, I can post like big group projects and parents can go on and see, what their kids are really doing in the classroom, because they probably come home and tell stories but don't really get to see what they're actually doing. Useful links, this is a great place for them to go, and if the children need help on homework and they get home, they don't know how to do this math homework, I can post a website or tutorials or things like that on here where the parents can go on and watch with the students, so they're able to see what they're doing in class and actually try to help the student before it gets to the frustrating stage of homework. And then any school announcements, like I made this one back to school night, so any announcements I would need. And then parent forms I could upload if there's any field trip forms or things like that, because things get lost in the hustle and bustle of getting from school to home. So that's one way that I would do communication with parents. Here's a paper that I wrote on how to form relationships between this is a paper I wrote about how to form relationships with students. So every student has a personal need that's going to be met, that needs to be met prior to them meeting their academic needs. So it's important for me to build relationships throughout the school year and essentially at the beginning of the school year. So some examples I have is individual conferences with the students, showing interest in the students' activities, having a suggestion box available that students can write down, I want to learn about alligators, or we can figure that into units and things like that. Also joining them in the PE or recess and having fun with them. And lastly, last is an example of a lesson I did with some 6th graders. It wasn't one of my best lessons. I think that's why my self-reflection was so good on this. I did it with 6th graders, and I totally took them out of the classroom and did something that they are not used to doing. I reflected and talked a little more about this. So I think think it's just important for us as teachers to reflect on lessons, on the good and bad that happens, and how you can change it next time. So I just went back through my lesson plan and did little notes like make the group smaller, explain to the students how to actually handle balloons instead of them throwing them all over the hallways. So this was just an example of how it is important to do self-reflection with yourself and other coworkers as well.